want B to sue the estate and act like I brought you out of the contracts 53 days after this man's demise. Can you please tell the people this? You lied and said you had no contract. Now you got a contract. 53 days after this man died, you wanted WAC 100 to go at the estate. Nope. Door is...
What's good, everybody? It's your boy Misguided Media, and I've been waiting to bring this one back. Nipsey Hussle was more than a rapper. He was a leader, a businessman, and a voice for his community. But power in the streets comes with enemies, and behind his tragic unaliving lies a deeper story. At the center, Eugene Henley, aka Big U, once a mentor, now an op. A man who used the city-funded GRYD program not for peace, but for power, extorting, controlling, and eliminating his threats. And when Nipsey stopped playing along, things got dangerous. One moment in particular opened Nipsey's eyes, the tour bus story, a turning point that showed him exactly who he was up against. This is the real story of betrayal, corruption, and the power struggle that led to Nipsey Hussle's final day. This video is 3 months old, guys, and I've been saying for a very long time, almost a year now, that Big U was extorting Nip. This video didn't get much steam then, and no one cared really about the story, so I decided to re-upload it, as I haven't seen too many places talk about this tour bus story and the final steps that play into the Nip Hussle unaliving.
12 years, and the bus that we used was a part of the investigation. So when he was getting married, he was like, cool, go ahead and do it. But the whole time, the mobile home was on the hot seat. His wife name was Stacy, my wife name was Stacy. So when I registered the mobile home in my wife's name, they thought it was him, his wife. Homie, like, you ain't gotta give me nothing, just get it registered and get the insurance on it. Little did we know, once we re-registered it, it put it back on the hot list. Oh. But he's been on the run 12 years. I only been home 3. So there's no way I could have been involved in what he was going on.
So I'm not sure how many of you are quick-witted, but if you're not paying attention, there was clearly a huge raid that went on during this time. I believe 22 houses were hit. It was revolving this tour bus. I'm not going to jump to conclusions, but it sounded like Big U is using this tour bus to kind of move some weight around the country as Nip was traveling. Nip had no idea. Feds were watching Big U back then, and this is kind of where it all spirals.
We think it's just normal hip-hop shit. Right. We hit Portland, they hit us. We going up through Oregon, we get all the paperwork. They took the radiator cap off, took part, stuck us in, I can't remember where we was for 3 days. They took the scanned it from the router to the tutor, found what they wanted on it, put it back together, gave it to us. I flew back home. When I fly home, we get hit. One day we get somebody to see him, and me and Steve is at the hotel, we taking a shower.
Now, that was a bunch of crazy shit that you probably just heard. This tour bus story obviously is where the feds got on his trail, Nipsey got spooked, went his separate ways. But like, I don't even want to go all into that right now. They just mentioned Steve Lobel, which was Nipsey's manager, along with Big U. If you know, you know. Both of them are thick as thieves. But Steve Lobel was in that live that you guys are looking at right now, and he was laughing. Now, doesn't that seem a little bit weird to you guys? No one's really reported on that or noticed it, but I did. We working, that's Steve Lobel, y'all.
Nipsey on the bus. That's on the mobile home. And I think it's me, Steve, shortstop. We all, we rush to get dressed, we run over there, and I come on the bus, and they got Nip on the bus. I mean, y'all got to get off the bus. This is private property. Get off the bus. And they like, no, we talking, no, you ain't gonna talk to him in here. So get him off the bus, boom. Then, and so we ended up getting stopped. So we calling everywhere for somebody to come get the mobile home to fix the mobile home. When they come to get the mobile home, it's the feds when I get home, they bang my house, thinking that my house is dude house and I'm dude and my wife because she registered mobile home.
Fix these clips. Looking at ways in which we can bring forth those intervention programs, every way that we can to make this community.
Big U is extorting Nipsey, extorting and exploiting his opportunities with Nipsey. He got the feds on Nipsey's ass, and Nipsey clearly was like, I'm not messing with this dude anymore. And when he tried to pull away, that's when Big U was like, nope, I'm coming to get the equipment. I'm using my GRYD program authorities to make sure the cops are on your ass and everyone in All Money In's ass. I'm making sure that your life is a living hell.
His son was tracking all that. They're tracking all that, so they're hitting us in every state. So now, we re-registered the van in my wife's name. So when we registered my wife's name, they hit our house. And when I get back, they hit our house because they trying to track everything. They hit 21 people's houses. They hit my house, and then they find all in the house. So you know, in any black person's house, there's some burners in that mother. Because they was saying they had a they had a travel agency. So not a travel agency, but yeah, travel agency, and so they take around the country in vans and buses. So you ain't responsible for you put on the bus. But if you got a bunch of motherfuckers recording on there and you going out there, but you really moving weight.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. Like it was getting it. Like I'm telling you.
Now, it doesn't even take anyone that has any type of street knowledge at all to understand what Big U's talking about. Like, this man's clearly talking about transporting, and it could be more than just weight. So, and he's bragging on it on No Jumper. So you guys can say everything about Brick Baby or Loose, but this man was, almost 60 years old, supposed to be looked at as a leader figure. And he couldn't even resist the clout. He felt that untouchable.
They had 21 people. They think they got him. Anyway, make a long story. He ended up turning himself in and take the case off all of us. He get life, right, for the drugs. When that happened, my team is acting weird. So I'm looking at Steve. I'm looking at Nip. Man, get a paperwork from Sony so they can see that we releasing all this. They acting weird. So, me, I'm still kind of like, hey, I'm hot, hot and heavy, but
And it just shows you how long the feds have been looking into Big U, because this was when Nipsey was alive. 22 houses were raided. Nipsey studios were raided. You're about to hear what the GRYD program and how Big U used the GRYD program to put Nipsey and his team through hell. You're about to sit through those clips. But this is just a crazy story. When whoever does the movie on this one, man, this one's going to be crazy. He's on podcasts doing this. I mean, many. There's more sound bites of Big U than anyone else.
I ended up going to jail, me and my wife. So now when I get out, I'm like this, like, why y'all acting all funny? They asking Steve for the paperwork. They asking Sony for the paperwork. They need a lease to show that we was leasing it and that this was the movement. Right. And then Steve and Nipsey acting like it's just major caper. So that's why I left music. That was really how I left music. And if you look at it, like, if you see where at some point in our music venture, you only see Steve and Nipsey together. Mm-hmm. You kind of really don't see me no more. And didn't really know why I had left. But I'm like, if these panicking like this over some that ain't serious, and we in a hip hop game, what if we knock down some?
For real.
Can you guys kind of start to see the picture be painted? He's starting to push blame on Nipsey, Steve Lobel, and I would not be surprised if we see Steve Lobel's name pop up anywhere in this Nipsey investigation, as it is being reopened as a new investigation.
I don't know, 2011, 2012. I'd have to really think about what year that was. And it was in the Marathon store. And we had a little argument back in, I don't know, 2011, 2012. I'd have to really think about what year that was. And it was in the Marathon store. And that was the last time we spoke.
Can I ask you the details of the conversation?
I don't want to get into the details because it involves naming names, and I don't want to do all that.
No, I clearly think you know exactly the name you're thinking of. Everyone knows the name you want to say. You know, I'm not going to say too much here, but Wack's not the only guy who has a media team.
Got mad, went down there, right? This is when he got set on his pockets, by Fats, rest in peace, right? Went down there, this is when Black Sam allegedly came out the store firing in the air. Let him ask Black Sam about that, because let me explain something to you. On Paru, this tells me, first of all, he worked me out some bail money.
Who did? Big U?
Big U. Because I get the call, I send the bail money, right? Come to find out, Rosé showed me that in the midst of all that coming, when the police came, Big U turns into grid worker. Came down here to police the situation, right? So he tells me, hey, Wack, the Black Sam, the police told me, leave him alone. That's one of his. He on parole, and they let the out before me. This what he feed me. Come to find out, Black Sam was off parole. Black Sam indeed had to bail out. Big U was the one that they let out. No strings attached. He turned into grid worker when all this hit the fan. He's got pulled over down the street, all this up. So, Big Boy didn't know to ask about that. But if Black Sam would have told that story on what that really say and what really happened at that precinct,
Like really being committed and being really pure with my energy, and I was just only doing music, and I was like suffering financially. The police raided the studio and took all the equipment and put a gun on me that was in the house, a shotgun. It was a registered shotgun, but I was on probation for a gun. So, the probation says you can't be around no guns at all. So they booked me for the gun, took all my equipment, and I was really just in there working. You know what I mean? Just like, they don't know that. Nobody know how pure you are but you. And I was really pure at that time. I wasn't doing nothing but music. It kind of discouraged me for a long time.
When the police kept harassing me, every time they see my car, they'll blur me up.
There you go.
Back to back every day. I swear to God, like twice a day sometimes.
Yeah.
Stop me, search, don't find nothing. See me tomorrow, do the same thing over.
Right.
I just seen people go to jail for bud and get stuck. And I couldn't be a statistic. I couldn't do it. I'm gonna fall back because they're not playing fair.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they hitting you with bogus charges, running your bill real high, shit like that. So I fell back.
So because I wouldn't have benefited from Nipsey. I didn't have no business with Nipsey. Nipsey ain't signed to me, wasn't signed to me. Signed to a 10-year production contract, which started in 2009, which will end 2019.
Crazy.
Hello. But I ain't tripping off of that because, it is what it is. But I do have that. You know what I mean? So,
Wait, so your deal with Nipsey was 10 years?
It was 10 years.
It was a 10?
10 years, 20 publishing to Aramis Astrodome.
Oh, wow. So, 09 to 2019.
09 to 2019.
So technically, Victory Lap.
Hello.
Okay.
See, after, Black Sam started noticing that, like, we're not going to get out of here and we're not going to, accomplish our goals if we keep, backing down to this man. And Black Sam was trying to get Nipsey out of there. And it literally tore the 60s apart. So you can literally see in real time, everyone is just talking. And Nipsey's unaliving really caused a big dent in the community for sure.
To sue the estate and act like I brought you out of the contracts 53 days after this man's demise. Can you please tell the people this? You lied and said you had no contract. Now you got a contract. 53 days after this man died, you wanted Wack 100 to go at the estate. Nope.
door. It's this been years of backdooring, and he been losing for a decade.
Mm-hmm.
He been trying to backdoor this man, and he been losing for a decade. So when it die, he want to take Crenshaw because it's already branded.
Yeah, but remember when he was at the building on Crenshaw and 43rd, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, where behind Sandman and stuff like that, right? People forget.
Rest in peace, Sandman. Sadari, rest in peace. My 10th Ave.
10th Ave. So people don't understand that Big U, and when it was Nip's shop, it was totally different. Big U was in the same shop with the developing options with the with Nip shop, right? Then he leaves and go on 43rd and Crenshaw, right?
Yeah, because
After
he was.
I appreciate y'all for sticking with me to the end. You know, this video wasn't the best quality. I did it in a rush, but it was from an old video. I just added new commentary to it, obviously with all this stuff that's happening. I knew what was happening already. If you've been following me since I've been starting, then you know already. This is a crazy story, and I want to know what y'all think in the comments. So please like, share, and subscribe. To the next one, man. I'm out.